Good evening, everybody. How are we this fine Thursday evening? Well, it's not so fine here in Donegal. It's drizzly, wet, windy. It's about 8 degrees. I actually had to put the heating on this evening because it got to that point where we're going, nope, it's too cold. I'm going to put the heating on. So who we got in the house tonight? Digger Evans, Motherwell. Good evening, Digger. How you doing? Clive, how are you doing, sir? Valerie Green, good evening. Brian Madden, good evening, sir. I think there's only about 2 of those cakes you dropped around left. I'm trying to save one for my daughter when she's back from work tonight. Tell your wife, they were absolutely gorgeous. Carrot cake, those chocolate and peanut butter. Oh, amazing. Joshua W56 Gaming, good evening, Joshua. How you doing? Tom Houston, Motherwell, good evening. Simon Trains Motor Showcase. Good evening, Simon. How you doing? I caught your video earlier on. Your monthly local roundup or whatever with the 237s pull-on one coach. Really enjoyed that. Wilsex Scenics PW. Good evening. Peter Jackson Tudor Heath. Good evening, Peter. How you doing? Hot Dog Pilot Andy's in the house. Hi, Andy. How you doing? GCR supporter, good evening. How are you doing? Gaza S2, good evening. Graham, Lemington Station. Raining in the Isle of Man. All racing cancelled until tomorrow. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, we recently had the Northwest 200 a couple of weeks ago. Well, not locally around here, but up near around Coleraine and Portrush. We got anyone else in? No, I think I've. Hello to anyone who's watching on playback and anyone who's lurking in the background there. If you want to ask a question or pop a message up, just say hi, put it into the chat there, or the comments. So I hope everyone's keeping well. You may have noticed there's some more baseboard down. So what I'm going to do this evening is I'm going to clear some of this off here. I got 2 baseboards down for the scenic level. I got that done at the weekend. So I'm going to mess around with some track tonight, just having a look at it and see what I can fit on here. I have a plan in my head and sort of on any rail and everything, but when you put these actually down in place and you look at it and you go, maybe not. Thanks. Trying to keep it monthly for 6 months, but results are good. Keep it permanent on the other channel. Okay, yeah. No, I enjoyed it because it was a nice little, I think it was only about 12 minutes long, and I could sort of fit that in a break, just, have a snack, watch that. It was good. President XD Locomotive Shed. Good evening, sir. Yeah, you may notice on my own channel that I'm trying a few different things, times when the videos come out and the thumbnails and things like that, just to see if it makes any difference. And so far it has seemed to be making a difference. I mean, get more views and more subscribers, but time will tell. Because YouTube is an ever evolving beast that they change things on, and you have to change things up and try different things. Flymo, good evening, sir. How are you doing? Ken, hello from Toronto. Well, hello from Donegal. Yeah, the one thing with YouTube is always experiment with different things. Yeah. Yeah. What really annoys me is those clickbaity titles that you get. You might have seen some of my titles that have come up. They've been sort of generated, and some of them are very. I try not to make them too, because that really annoys me. But obviously, it does work because you see people with these clickbaity titles, and you look at their views and go, "Well, it's obviously working." Well, try and steer clear of the old clickbait. Ivo Van Zon, good evening, sir. How are you doing? I don't know why I've got so many boxes of screws of different sizes open. I didn't use that many different sizes building this. So same trains running tonight as last week. You've got the 237s running on the new layout, and my Irish class 181 and the class A class. I almost forgot then what it was, and the 121 class 121 sitting in the siding there. I think somebody asked there about the yellow coaches. The yellow coaches are Irish Rail. I believe they were used on the Dublin-Galway route. Morning, Motor Railway Andy. Good evening, Andy. How are you doing, sir? Clive, I've got some of your photos here that you sent last week. I didn't get to show them last week. I'll show them in a minute. And I've also got 3 from Craig at Delph Junction off his, supposed to show them last week, but I didn't, off his is it class 25, the Sutton class 25. He's got a video out on it, so do check his channel out and see the video on it. Let's just change the chat filter so I'm seeing all messages in case anything gets hidden. Oops. Right, so see here now, I've got 2 boards. They're both 4 foot by 2.5 foot. So the idea is we turn the camera around so you can see. Okay, so here we have, this is the up from the fiddle yard. So there's 2 lines coming in here. And then I'm going to have them going off into 2 lines. So those 2 lines then carry on around here and around here for loops around. Oh, there's the camera again. So this area here is going to be a bit of a station area. It's not going to be a massive station. It's going to be a couple of island platforms. I don't want all this just to become a station. I just want, if you like, the essence of a station. So 2 lines going around here, going on around. The 2 lines that come along here will start to go up, to go over these lines, and to come back around the other side, probably hidden, to then come back around here, elevated to go over some of these tracks, to then return down. So if you like, it's a folded figure of 8. Now, as I build it, I may find, no, that's too much track and it doesn't look right. But what I want to do is I want to actually hide some of the tracks behind so there's more scenery than track, if you know what I mean. So you have that sort of right blend. But we'll see, you know, as you build a layout, it evolves. I try and bait my videos sometimes as you get what said on the title. Simon, you put a lot of your, I see a lot of your thumbnails have you in them. Do you find that works better as the thumbnail, having you on the thumbnail? Because I've done it a few times and I haven't seen any difference. But as I say, I have a face for radio and a voice for newspapers. Or I suppose the modern thing would be a face for podcasts and a voice for blogs. I suppose it would be the modern version. We'll be chugging on the old Dr. Pepper again tonight. They are supposed to be Mark III coaches, but they're the Lima ones, so they're really like the UK, the ones that came in the set, so they're not full size. They're not the right length for scale length for Mark III, so the shortened ones. Hang on, my chat's frozen again. Right, go back to where it was on. Okay. A nice look. You should put a layout on there. Spill the beans, mate. Who did the clickbait? Answer in Gaelic if you don't want to say. No, I just mean in general. Like, obviously, I don't always watch trains on YouTube, although it's probably 90% of my viewing on YouTube. But it's, you know, as you're scrolling through and the recommended things come up, and it's all clickbaity titles. And like, there's one travel vlogger I watch sometimes, and his titles are like, "I was shocked when I stayed here. I was surprised when I stayed here," and it's like, Oh, Andy, I hope you recover well. Hope it wasn't a serious operation. Hope you're doing all right, mate. Take it easy. Relax up. New Model Railway. Good evening, sir. How are you doing? Yes, Dr. Pepper again. Robert, good evening, sir. How are you doing? Someone announced tomorrow is pup date time. I see Kira Skeller making an announcement tomorrow. I don't know what that's for. Cat Railbuilding, good evening. Anyway, let's get some track. So we've got some double slips here. I'm just laying this out loosely just for a visual. I got some odd bits of straight track here that I'm just using just as a guide. Roll that up. You can see I got all this ready before the stream. Not. So if I move that over there a little bit. So you're going to have two tracks coming from the upper level. They're going to turn bend round into the double slips. And then each one of those, I have a point coming off them. So then that gives me my two lines to go around. And then I want a crossing here, so one there. And one coming off there somewhere. So then I can get across all the lines if I need to. So any train can go on any track. I think. Let's go back. Oh, hi, his pup date. Ah, right, okay, yeah. I thought you already got his lab. Didn't I see something on Facebook or a community post that he got his puppy? It looks a gorgeous puppy. It depends. Some get good views, some get okay views. There's the odd rare time that it does get bad views of the face. I can't believe that, Simon. Any up and coming exhibition on the horizon? That's good. The next one I'll be going to will be Methody, the Ulster one in August. I think there's only between now and then. Decided to replan the holiday to avoid anything soccer related in Germany. Is that where the Euros are on this year? Because I don't really follow football. Are they on in Germany this year? So you got the Olympics in Paris. The video with the 37s that I did note that when I published them as videos, they performed really badly on YouTube, so I decided to combine them. All right, okay. Yeah, he has a baby dog called Ollie. That's nice. Trevor Vio, good evening, Trevor. How are you doing? Third video from Ireland, a good example. That did really badly, only because I published it on Easter Sunday. But that's the other thing. Like tomorrow now, I usually publish my videos for 7 a.m. in the morning, but the tips that you get on YouTube that come up in your analytics are saying I should try publishing them about 5 o'clock. So I've set it for tomorrow for 5 o'clock. See if it makes any difference. But it's hard because it depends on the video and your title, your thumbnail, and everything like that. And at the end of the day, I don't actually think that I'm that good at doing the videos. I do them and I enjoy doing them, but I'm not, and nor will ever be a Mr. Beast. Well, Kieran's in. How you doing, J94? There's some odd football going on in Germany. Of course, a real railroader would have named him Oily. Ah, so that's who that is. So I have my son's girlfriend watching, Katharina. So everyone say hi to Katharina in the chat. Yeah, I never understand YouTube because some of my videos, the videos I've done for the model shop and the shows I've done, those videos have actually done really well for me. Like they hit over 1,000 views in the first week, which usually takes me a month to get 1,000 views. But hey ho, I'm under no illusion that I should be getting loads of views. Oh, that Dr. Pepper's not going to last me for the stream. So that's there, roughly where I'm going to want it. It gives me space here. What I'm trying to work out is, obviously here I can have a platform, but I want enough space here to have a bit of a road at the front, a station building going onto the platform. So I'll probably use that Metcalfe station building that I have. It gives about 6.5 inches to the rail edge. So it's probably going to be like half a road and then the station house. Any more variations of the spelling? There we go. There's Valerie's channel up. Everyone subscribe, watch the videos. Right. I'll tell you what we'll do is I'll show you those pictures from Clive's layout. Right, let me set this up. So present, share screen, share screen. So I'm not going to put the slideshow on because when you put the slideshow on, it doesn't show some of the pictures. I don't know why. It's just Windows being Windows. So these are some of Clive's. Really like this one here of the, I think you built that yourself, didn't you, Clive? Let me bring the chat around so I can see it. I'll come back to what I'm doing with the station in a minute, Peter. I'll show these pictures first. There's more of it there. Can't quite make out the name. What's that other ship? Just having a glance around, making sure everything is still running. It's a cracking layout, Clive. It really is. Like having that harbour scene in it is just... Oh, that's the last one. I'll go back through them again. I mean, I was looking at the ship there, just noticed the fiddle yard underneath all the stock you got there. I'd love to come and film your layout sometime, Clive, if you're ever up for that. All right, let's come out of that a minute. And we'll go to... So there's just 3 pictures here. This is off of Craig's 25 that he got last week. He's got a video up on his channel about it. It's a lovely looking model, very detailed. The Suttons are very, very nice logos. I do have one here. And they come in this nice silver tin presentation box. There it is on the track. Really is nice, really detailed model. But check out Craig's new Delph Junction, the video he done on it. Okay, let's close them. Stop sharing. Bring that back up. Yeah, it is a very impressive ferry, Clive. It's good. Oh, Valerie's got a new double gauge layout, needs some work. So we'll see you at an exhibition next year. Okay. Yes, Peter said, don't forget to hit the like button for me and subscribe if you're new here and share the stream. All that things us YouTubers say. Okay, so Peter was asking about the station. So let me try and move this back here. See what you can see. Yeah. So we got these 2 lines here. Can you see there? Yeah, because I'm looking at my phone, but that's about 30 seconds behind. So we got these 2 lines here, which are coming up from the lower fiddle yard. And that's going off into a double slip. So then we have, oh, hang on. Every so often, that back wagon on that rake on the 37 just derails. What was I saying? Yeah, so 2 up from the fiddle yard, come into a double slip, so that gives me a line there, into another point, it gives me another line there. So that's 2 lines, and the same on the other side. So the idea is it would be an island platform here, because obviously I want to join these 2 lines to these 2 lines. So I'm putting a point across there. So there'll be a short platform here, and then be some sort of platform along here with a station building on it. And that's about as much of the station I want. I don't want to make a big long station because it takes up too much space. I want to have scenic. So then we'll take these 2 lines on around, gentle curve as possible. So over in this space here, then will be the TMD, which will come off the outer line of here. And they'll carry on around. And then I'm gonna raise them up a little bit. They're not going to be a massive incline because I just want to have it, you know, maybe an inch, you know, 3 centimeters, something like that off the baseboard, just so I can build a river scene underneath it, so I can have a bridge. That'll be on the other side of the layout. So although this is all flat baseboard here, It's going to be more around the other half. It's going to be more like an open frame. So I can have tracks going over each other. Some of the tracks will be hidden in tunnels. So they'll be on the back here, it'll be open, so I access to the tracks, but you'll see them go into a tunnel and then just disappear. That's the plan, but it all depends on the space I have and trying to get the curves in and everything, so, doing it on any rail, it should fit. But as I say, when you actually start building it and looking at it and going, nah, that's just not going to work. Shedmouth Junction. Good evening, Martin. How are you doing? How's Evie doing? Oh, Andy's off. Take care, Andy. Look after yourself. Hope you're well on the recovery there, mate. Yeah, more or less just enough to fit 2 coaches. Yeah, we'd all love to have a big full-size station, but this is a model railway that gives sort of an impression of the railway, if you like. So when I say there's going to be a TMD and an engine shed, it's not going to be a massive TMD. It's going to be a fueling area, a shed. It's going to be very small. Same with the steam shed. Yeah, there will be a backboard, so there'll be backboards along here. Obviously, as I build them, it'll depend on the scenery and everything, but this will probably be more or less flat a bit, and then we'll have these 2 tracks will start to raise up to a bigger height to come around and cross the river a bigger height than these two. These 2 will just raise up a bit, because as they go this way, let me move the camera. So as they go this way on this level here, it has to rise up, because it's got to cross over these lanes here that are coming up. So it'll come up and it'll be about, well, it'll have to be about at least 3 inches above it here. And then it will come across, and then I'll have a river scene. Similar to what I done to my Christmas layout. Oh, Clive's in the house. How you doing, Clive? The other ship is the Duke of Lancaster. Right, okay. Yeah, more like a stabling point. Phoebe is also grown up far way too fast. Yeah, unfortunately, Martin, they do. I've got 4 girls. The youngest is doing her junior cert, which is sort of the Irish equivalent of GCSEs at the moment. She's in the middle of her exams. Yeah, they do grow up too quick. But it's good to see them growing up. I don't understand with the UK, to you guys, why not go for proper close coupling when you finally have everything fitted with kinematics? I think it's starting to go that way now, Ivo. I think it's something I'm going to be looking at now, because there's so many options. Like it used to be for close coupling, the only option was KDs. And if you want to do a rake of coaches with KDs, they're really expensive. Whereas now you've got all the options with the magnetic close coupling and the fixed vacuum pipes, air pipes that look like for coupling together. So there's more options now. There's a video on YouTube that a group of urban explorers got into the Duke of Lancaster to have a look around. Like, is there a train? There's no train from Derry to Donegal anymore. There used to be 60 odd years ago. That's right, Martin. No, what I'm running on The scenic 6x4 layout is the one that's just going past the bottom right. There is an Irish Class 181, which I got for my birthday a couple of weeks ago. Thank you to my kids. The other one that's going around is my A-Class 48, and the one that's sat on the siding is Class 121. They're all Irish rail trains. And then going around on the other layout, I've got a EWS Class 37 hauling some car transporter wagons. And then the other one is Red Stripe 37, just pulling some grey wagons, which are from the sort of steam era. They're LMS wagons and Great Western wagons. So that's what's going around at the moment. The orange coaches you can see going around are ones I painted myself, which is why they look so bad. But, you know, they're the sort of thing. Some people say the 2-foot rule. I think it's more of a 20-foot rule. You stand 20 foot away from them, they go, oh, they don't look too bad. And the 181 is pulling yellow coaches, which are were used on, I believe, on the Dublin-Galway run. They were painted yellow in the 90s. Don't know why, but that was just a livery they took to. Need to campaign the railway to return. Well, they took out an all-island rail review, and it had recommendations there for railways to be put back, some of them to be electrified, some go from single to 2 dual lines, some of them go from 2 lines to 4 lines. And all Donegal got was a little stub of a railway from Derry to Letterkenny. And bear in mind, these are recommendations, and the government says, oh, yes, we're going to do all this, but, you know, we're not going to start it until 2030, 2035, you know, so that it's still years and years away. But of course, they can say we're doing it. They know they're not going to do it. So it's another government's issue, so they can just keep kicking it down the road until we get to the point where we desperately need the railways, and then there'll be a panic to try and build them, and they'll build them wrong, and they'll pay too much money for the land. And you know, it's always the same. It's the same in the UK as it is here. They put in the infrastructure afterwards instead of building the infrastructure first so everything can develop around it. You're then trying to squeeze the infrastructure in after these big housing sites and towns have exploded. But, you know, what do I know? Yeah, that's the sometimes commonly called the black and tan colors. It's an orange and black, the liveries of the Irish Rail. That was back in, yeah, it would have been the 90s, because I remember traveling by train and they had those liveries in the 90s. And it was sort of late 90s, early 2000s that we got the more modern Irish Rail colors now, where all these sort of engines were, well, I think by nearly 2000, they were all retired, sent out to pasture, and a lot of them were actually scrapped and cut up. Leicester Station and TMD, Gary's in the house. Good evening, Gary. How you doing, sir? Yeah, it's not very easy for people to get to Donegal. If you land in Dublin, you've got to get the number 30 bus up, which is, to be honest, 4.5 hours of hell traveling by coach. Yeah, the only long-term thinking governments do is how can we get in for another 5 years? Yeah, I really think they should have something that if you're a TD, as we have in Ireland, or an MP in the UK, you can only serve a maximum of 2 terms, and then you have to stand down, someone else has to stand. Because then you're not worried about being re-elected, you're worried about, right, let's do something right. Yeah, that's it. There's opinion polls, and as Graham says, not one person in power thinks longer than their term. If they did stuff right, they would get re-elected. But of course, that's one of the things, is what's right for one person will be wrong for someone else. So, and if they made the hard decisions and done the things that the experts, sort of say, this is what we should do, this is what the people will need. Raising up on that. Where does all the dirt come from that gets on rails? Yeah, you're never going to please everyone. The problem in the Netherlands is that every rail project ends up in people demanding that there will never be freight running on it. You're going to touch your plant could lose staff because the government won't bring forward an order for new stock. Well, that got into politics pretty quick. How's the museum going? Yeah. Yeah, steer away, was it? Never talk about politics and religion. Everyone said that politicians should wear jackets with patches on so people can tell who sponsors them. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, yes, let's get back to trains. The museum's going well. It's getting into the summer season now. The schools here, well, the secondary schools in Ireland have broken up now. They get 3 months off during the summer. Any students who are doing exams, June, first sort of 2.5 weeks of June is exam time. We have the one exam board here. It's the same exam timetable every year. The Wednesday after the June bank holiday is when the exams start, and it always starts with English paper 1, and then I think Irish paper 1 on day 2, and then maths paper 1 on day 3. So it's the same, more or less the same timetable I used when I passed my exams a long time ago. The same one that still goes in place. Charlie, good evening. How are you doing, sir? How's all over in Canada? Are you still in Canada? Or are you on a jolly somewhere? Drummer looks last night after a month not running. It was a disaster. Nothing ran properly. Yeah, it can be like that sometimes. And you just look and you think, well, the track's not dirty, and it's just, I think it's just a little bit of damp or something gets into them, and some little wire just decides, some little solder joint decides to dry up and break somewhere on your wiring, and it's Lemon 9 got it right by putting the start of electrification on by the basis for later already. And time comes for the Lemon line to be electrified. Yeah, well, it'll probably happen when it comes to be electrified. Those are the wrong bases. So they'll have to dig everything out and put it back in again. But it's nice to have some forward thinking. Get the wheels cleaned and go from there. Yeah. But like, it's amazing how, like, obviously this track gets run every Thursday, but it's amazing the dirt that just appears on the track. I mean, this is well, I suppose probably I was actually doing a lot of woodwork and stuff, but like any sawing or anything I was doing was being done outside. It was just being screwed together in here and put up. But yeah, just dirt and dust everywhere. Weekend clean, I think. Get your penny on, your feather duster out, Gary. It's nice to be at home watching rather than being at work. Yes, couldn't get your insurance sorted then, Graham, I presume. Yeah, you did your exams last year, didn't you, Joshua? Didn't you do your leaving last year? Ferries going at night and rub dirt on the rails. This time of year, Valerie, the museum is open 7 days a week, 10 to 5, Monday to Saturday, and 12 to 4. Sorry, I got my friend who's just leaving the house and he's giving me rude gestures through the window. Yeah, 12 to 4 on Sundays. Not traveling at the moment. Big wedding at the end of the month. The younger daughter is the interior designer, YouTube star. There will be a bunch of friends coming up from the States. Oh, very good. It's the sludge monkeys, I call them. How is the layout going, Gary? Slowly. Getting these 2 boards done. My aim on Saturday was just to get this one done, but I managed to get the second board done as well. And I've got the 3rd board for here ready to go on, though I've decided what I'm going to do is one of the tracks here, although it's working and everything's going across it, I just got a feeling as soon as I put the top on and everything, the solder's gonna come apart and it's gonna break. So I'm gonna replace that bit of track and do it a little bit better. And yeah, just there's a little kink in the rail, and I thought, no, do you know what? Before I cover it over, and there's a bigger job to replace it, I'm gonna do it. Hopefully this weekend, cut that bit of track out, put a new piece in, and it'll be all good. So that's the plan for this weekend. So if I get that done, and then I can start putting track. Obviously, you can see here, where I've had to cut this to extend it to get it the right spacing. So then I'll continue the track on along here, around to here, get these double slips in and the points and everything in, and then I can start laying the track back around that way so I can get these boards into the right position. And boards on this side here, you can see I have a load of curves there cut, ready to go. It's all 3rd and 4th radius, these curves. Get them in place. And then once I get that going, it should, well, it's not going to go that quickly because it is a very slow laying track when you're putting droppers on everything, and especially with the points here, making sure they're all working and in place. But yeah, that's the plan for the next couple of weeks. As well as that, it's summertime. I'm probably going to be, busy over the summer doing other things. I got a family wedding coming up in the summer. My brother's getting married. So yeah, there is enough room for the point motors underneath. I made sure of that. There, if I show you here, you can see there's a good distance there. So you've got because I use the seat point motors because they'll fit in that space fine. And you can see the tracks down there. So there's enough room to get hands through if anything comes off. And this is just a 2x1 frame, and then you can see it's supported by 3x1. And it's all screwed together. Let's put this down so you can see some trains instead of, where should I put it? Let's put it there. So yeah, if I can get that bit of track there, get the other piece on, and then get the track done on the up, then I can get this into place. And then once all the point work here is in place, then I can go from there and decide what exactly I'm going to do. Oh, Carl's in the house. Good evening, Carl. How you doing? What night is it between the boards? Top, and top. Oh, distance. What? I can't remember now. I think it was so the board at the bottom, from the top of that to the top of the board above it is 16 centimeters or just over 6¼ inches. So that gives me enough. I was going to have it a little bit lower, but then I found it was a bit tight getting hands in if anything came off. So this gives me enough room to get my hand in underneath. As you can see here, enough space there to get hand in underneath. Now, this is, on this side, say it's going to be baseboards like this, sort of from this way around, all around here, it's going to be more open frame. So it's solid here, because this is where the TMD is going to go. And of course, in this corner here, there'll probably be a solid frame over this half, because that's where the engine shed's going to go. Oh, look, there's a bit of blue sky there. The sun's come out. Yes, I do have a rail tour in July. A rail tour that's coming by bus because we don't have any trains in Donegal. So we're getting on the bus in Dublin and coming up to see us 6th of July. Are you going to be on it, Carl? Oh, no, I think you said you're on the doing something else that weekend, aren't you? Your layout is 13 foot by 9 foot. Well, this is going to be 7 foot by 12 foot. And it's made of 8 sections. So 6, 4 by 2.5, and then 2 by 2.5. It was the maximum space I was allowed by the boss. And even at that, she's not happy about it. I'm going to try and go to New Railways. Had one but sold it as it wouldn't go through points. Very frustrating. And Double O took his magnet out. What a difference. I think I will do the same. Oh, you're on the 2. That's right. I remember you saying you were on a rail tour that weekend. Well, that's the last of the Dr. Pepper. Right, I've explained what I'm doing here, guys. Anybody got any other suggestions? Or think of something else? As I say, as always, when I build layouts, are quite flexible. You have a plan, you do it on any rail, and it looks good. But as you're building it, you might think, hang on, that's too much track. But the whole idea of this is that some of the track will disappear into tunnels, so you have hillsides and scenery, so it's not going to be all track. And I'm going to have the whole thing where there's some track going over track. So over the actual station, there'll be a line coming over sort of the end of the station. So you have trains going over each other. Hermitage Road, good evening, sir. How you doing? Right on railway above. Ooh, I'll have to check that out later, Fleming. Painted a couple of Hornby teak coaches, Citadel paints. Yeah, very good. How about a quarry scene? Well, the plan is, hang on, let's lift up the camera again. So, station here, this line rising up, this line will rise up slightly. It'll come around here. There'll be a TMD in that corner, or it may even be the engine shed and the TMD in the other corner yet. I haven't quite decided on that. The inner two lines will probably come around here, and they'll be hidden in the scenery here. The outer two lines will come up, and then there'll be like a river scene viaduct sort of thing going on. And then around to here, they'll be crossing over. So this will be unseen, and the train, the other level will be the two outer lines coming back around and back around into the station. Now, as I said, the inner two will go up, come around, be hidden in the hillside here, and then they'll come out of the tunnel or somewhere over here, and they'll actually cross over here to come back around to go over the river scene to descend back down into the line here. So, if you like, the inner two lines go over twice, but in a sort of, as I say, a folded figure of 8. Now, it mightn't work. When I'm doing it, it might be too much track. I mightn't be able to get all the curves in, because the one thing with this being a mobile layout, you can't have the corner pieces here. Well, you could, but I think it would just be more chance of them getting damaged. Because when you're building a layout, if you have that corner piece there for curves going around, it gives you so much more space. But they have to go around here. So we'll see how it all works out. According to any rail, it will fit, but the top left. Yeah, that is just my webcam sitting down there between the tracks. Which is something I want to do as I'm building it, is wire in cameras to the layout. So they're hidden in buildings or whatever, so it gives you good shots. Well, I'd like to go for like the Metcalfe viaduct type thing, and maybe so 2 lines going across that, and then maybe the other ones on like I've got a not a girder bridge, but is it a bowstring bridge that Brian gave me? One of those. I've got it here somewhere, so maybe that as well. But it all depends on the scenery, and as I'm fitting it in, what fits in and what looks right. Oh, they run the Perth Model Railway. All right, okay. Okay, Joshua, take care. That's a good idea. Camera in the building. Whole new meaning to peeking through the blinds. Yeah, there is a famine village in Donegal. There's a Donna famine village, which is on my Out and About channel. I've done a video of that. So if you're up that way, it's worth a visit. It's good. Peaky Blinders. Let's put that down there so you can see the trains. What time is it now? Oh, it's 8:30 already. Let time go when you're having fun. So don't forget to hit that like button for me, guys, and subscribe if you're new here. I'm just squeezing the last dribble of Dr. Pepper out of that bottle. Yeah, so we're going to have a small station scene, river scene, TMD, a steam shed. And the whole idea of it is so I can be stood outside the layout with some old phones or tablets with controllers on it. So if kids come up, they can work the TMD, they can work the steam shed, they can work the main layout, have a go at driving the trains. I'm not going to be overly precious about it. If things get broken, they can be fixed. I'll stop short of letting them lift the locos off the track, but if they snap a tree or bend a telegraph pole or knock over a fence, it's stuff that can be fixed. Yeah, I've seen watching John's stream. He has them in buildings. Yeah. How far is the famine village? Is like the other end of Donegal, right up the north, up near Malin Head. Hope you left plenty of food for the tour. I think they're actually eating before they get to us. Okay, Clive, take care. Catch you again. Yeah, it's Flying was there. He's put up a link to channel membership. It's always welcome. As I say, all the money I generate on this channel, I use to keep the layouts in the museum going and help me build the extensions I've done to Pedigo and to the Donegal and Killybegs one and that sort of thing, and buying new stock and what have you. Oh, the other thing that's going to fit on here is some 009, because I've got the little rail car 4 to run around the layout. So there'll be a little loop of 009, which I'm going to see how all this works out, and then see. I'm basically just going to have it going around the inside up on the hillside somewhere. Jerry BVR, good evening, Jerry. How you doing, sir? Better late than never. Yeah, so there should be a bit on here to keep people interested when they come and look at it. Because I want it to be a layout that people can get involved with. You're not hidden behind a velvet rope, but yeah, here, have the controller, have a little go at running the trains, and especially if you can have it somewhere where they can walk all the way around it, they can follow the train around. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, guys. Valley 56, Chris, how you doing? Good evening, sir. Hope you're keeping well. Am I doing catenary? I might do it on a section. Like the plan was that 2 of the lines would be more modern with light signals, that sort of thing, and the other 2 lines would be more steam area with signal cabins and semaphores and rodding and that sort of thing on it. Because it's I hope to take this around to help represent the museum and everything. So it's about explaining the railways to people, to say this is how it used to run, this is how it runs now, this is why railways are important. It's about educating people without boring them. I'm not someone who's going to give them a high level overview of it, just so people know. And like I know from being in the museum and that, you get different people coming in. Some people are really interested and want to know the details. Some just want a high level overview. Some people are just there because it's raining. It's just. Heading to the Garda station now. Have they finally caught up with you, Carl? You're going to hand yourself in. Yeah, I think I kicked up too much dust around here. I did actually vacuum earlier on. So I realized it was a bit dusty on the floor. Obviously disturbed too much dust. So yeah, that's the general plan for the layout. You know, it's subject to change. It'll evolve as I build it. But I must say, I'm really pleased with the Gauge Master Prodigy Advance with the Wi-Fi on it. It's just such a pleasure just to be sat on the sofa, controlling my trains with this. You know, turning on the sounds. Being like a real child, blowing the horn. My missus has just gone off in the car, so I don't know where she's gone. Good evening, John. How are you doing? Been looking for a bit. Hope everyone's well. Yeah, I think, well, I'm keeping well. Hope everything's all right with you. Yeah, on the TV tonight is just cab views from British Rail. I think that one is going up the East Coast Main Line, I think it was. It may have skipped on to another one. But there's a whole playlist of these. So I just set it on and let it play, just cast it to the TV. The missus got bags there. I don't know. I didn't see. I don't think I've been that lucky, Jerry. Yeah, there are scammers going around. I got a funny phone call the other day. A guy ringing up telling me that my immigration were after me because my visa had expired and I needed to give him 700 quid to sort it out. I'd say was the boot full. Yeah, I don't know where she's gone. She might have actually, no. No, I got no messages. Usually I get a text message or something through to the phone to say she's gone for a takeaway or something. But she shouldn't have gone for a takeaway. We just had a big tea before I came online. No, it's a 6-4 layout now has a engine shed on it. Yeah. Well, that layout, if you like, was always dressed with that. When it was out, the buildings, because this was being stored in the railway, and there was a box of the buildings in, and for ages I couldn't find it, and then finally I came across it, and the buildings were the scale cast buildings I made in the middle, and they've been smashed to smithereens. So I've been actually looking at some of the Metcalfe buildings to see if they'd fit into the space, and they don't quite fit. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of fettling with the gardens and things like that to make them fit in better, and do some adaptation to the Metcalfe kits as well. Because we're hopefully having some sort of model rail show in November, the first weekend in November. So I need to get that ready for November. If I've got this in any sort of state where, you know, all the tracks in and trains are running, I might take this to the local one in where we're having it in the town and just say, you know, this is how you start building a railway. And I could have a session there with kids making trees and getting them to stick them on the layout, that sort of thing. So yeah, that had like that modern engine shed. The other side, it had I think it was a goods shed or one of the Hornby engine sheds and a water tower and a footbridge going across the the platforms there across the track. Of course, where they've been stored, they've got damaged. So I need to glue some of them back together. The buildings are just completely smashed. I can't glue them back together. They're just shattered. Okay, Carl, catch you again. Do you miss the space you had in the loft? Yes, Gary, I do, because that was going to be a massive layout. That was going to be the layout of my dreams. You know, that was 40 foot by 12 foot wide, I think it was. So, you know, I was going to have a nice big, like 35-foot long scenic run down one side, where it was just going to be, you know, 2 or 4 lanes of traffic coming down, just hillsides, viaduct, you know, just nice. But hey, was it meant to be? I hope the Gardaí let you go. But you never know. I may end up returning to that house. As I say, you never know what the future holds. That's why I'm building this. This is, if we end up moving anywhere, then I take this with me. I was also half toying with the idea of actually getting a 40-foot container and building a layout inside that. So wherever I go, has to be space for a 40-foot container that can be moved around. Because you can pick one of them up, a secondhand one of them, for a couple of thousand, and they're not that expensive to transport. You know, and just someone comes along with a high ebb on the back and just lifts it into place. Spend a couple of hundred just insulating it and wiring it inside, and then build your layout, and away you go. Yeah, 40-foot container. What are they, 40 foot by 8 foot wide? I've seen people build houses with containers. Yeah, I've seen that as well. And they make quite a nice job of it. And it looks quite good as well, because they stack them in a certain way. So it's, so we say, aesthetically pleasing. You know, it doesn't look like a normal house, but it's, you know, as you know, everybody, if I ever win the lottery, this is what I'm going to do. Let's check the old mic. No, not running out of charge yet. So it's still good. Get 2 and cut the side and then stick them together. I was thinking of that as well, you know. Why stop at 2? Yeah, because they're relatively simple to put in, because you don't need much in the way of foundations. You just need a foundation in the 4 corners. You know, you go down a couple of feet, make a concrete pad about 1 foot by 1 foot, and it should be enough to support it. Yeah, I'd say it would be, especially in the Canadian winters. A small layout due to the missus restricting my plans. Yeah, we all have that, Charlie. Just remember to leave room for your bed. The boss throws you out. The neighbors. Well, see, most of the time here, Tom, I'm living out in the countryside, so there is no neighbors to be bothered about. like at the moment, the house I'm in is more in the town area, but usually, you know, my plan and ambition is, you know, eventually to move back out into the countryside. So you don't have to worry about neighbors. You know, I want to buy about 10 acres with the house in the middle so nobody comes around me, you know. Yeah, if the missus did throw me out, I'd probably be quite happy sleeping in the train room. Oh no, yeah. What was I seen somebody say, like, when the missus makes you sleep on the couch, she doesn't realize that we actually quite enjoy it because it's like camping and we get a night's peace. House and a big barn, yeah. Yeah, see, I was thinking that building a large barn because I think the planning things around building a barn aren't the same as building a house. So you could just build a big barn and then put your shipping containers inside them. And that would give you an extra layer of insulation then. Surrounded by bales of hay. Or dig a big hole and bury them. We're starting to get into prepper territory there, having a bunker. I'm okay as I have a bar, a fireplace, and a big TV. It's the barn for prime movers. Farm, but the council's one of it. Yeah, see, that's it. Agriculture building, a big barn, and then put whatever you want inside the barn. Or it's temporary, honest. Yeah, it's got wheels on it. Well, you could say a shipping container is movable. It's got, you know, can be moved. It's temporary. Yeah, but at the moment, I'm happy with this layout. It's probably going to take me, or at least, I think I say this all the time, it's going to take me about 18 months to 2 years. I've been saying that now for at least a year. Yes, it must be almost a year since I started this because it was this time last year we were moving in here because my daughter was in the exams and we were moving in here. So I must look back on my videos actually and see when I started building this. It must have been around August time. Oh, I haven't got much done for a year when you actually look at it. I need to pull my finger out. I say it's a conservation area, yeah. But yet they can go and put as many of those damn high windmills up everywhere. Okay, Charlie, take care, mate. Catch you again. Well, the train's been going well tonight, touch wood. I've only had one derailment, and that's that wagon that every so often, for a random reason, hops off the rails. Seem to be happy enough going around there for now. The sun's starting to come around now, coming through the window. It's just nice having that big window because when the sun is out, it does heat up the room. say that every time I look at my layout. Yeah. But, it's a very time-intensive hobby, model railways, and it's finding time when you have family and other commitments, work, museum, kids, missus. Like over the past few weekends, I haven't been able to get to. Last weekend, I was able to do a day, and then it was a bank holiday weekend here in Ireland last weekend. So I was like Saturday and do some work on the layout. Then the Sunday and Monday, going to go out and spend time with the kids. And we went off and done a couple of day trips and had some fun with the kids and that. And the missus, we went out and enjoyed ourselves. We're going to do, I think, got the day off tomorrow, and the youngest is off tomorrow because it's a polling day here tomorrow for our local elections and the European elections. So his school's a polling station, so it's closed tomorrow, so he's got the day off. So take the opportunity, see what the weather's like in the morning, and head off somewhere for the day with a picnic. Maura, good evening. How are you doing? How's things down the south of the country? Second camera, top right, the sunlight is capturing the locos pretty good. Oh, it is, yeah. As the sun sort of sets out of that window this time of year. Yeah, Akirascal have got a video coming out tomorrow, a new announcement, new local announcement. I don't know whether it's going to be a new version of one of their current logos, the 66, 37 or Deltic or something, or whether it's going to be a brand new logo. We'll wait and see. Oh, it's a bit wet with you, is it, Maura? Well, it's been wet here all day. The skies have cleared and the sun's come out. It was saying that it was about 11 degrees, but feels more like 8 degrees. And I actually put the heating on this evening, even though it's June. I was like, no, I'm uncomfortable. I'm sitting here with goosebumps, shivering a bit. No, I'm going to have to put the heating on. You've got the electrics fitted on the sus. So is all your electrics done on your layout now, Gary? Because that is one of the big jobs. So like once I have the track down and it's all working and the electrics are done, then I can get on with the scenery, which is the bit I really like doing. But what I'll probably do is run the track for at least a month to make sure I'm happy. And what I would like to do is actually take the layout apart and move it somewhere and put it back together and make sure everything works. So maybe that might be, if I can get all this done by November, all the track laid and done, and I can then take it down to the show, and that at least will take it apart and put it back together and see what works and what doesn't. Not cold here, just raining. Yeah, it was cold here. Well, it is cold here. Like I've got the heating on. It was just that little bit cold where it was just a little bit uncomfortable. I was thinking, why am I sitting in my house with a fleece on to stay warm? Your body feels warm, but your feet are actually cold. Like this isn't right. This is June. And normally, traditionally in Ireland, the week that the exams start is usually the best weather we have, because that's when the sun's splitting the rocks while the kids are in doing their exams, sweating buckets, with the sun shining through the window on top of them. But we haven't had that this year. And the barbecues came into Lidl. I was going to go and grab one today. And I'm like, I need the barbecue to keep warm, not to cook anything. So it's 5:02. I'm going to call it an evening at 9 o'clock. Just to give you guys notice. I'll say there will be a video out tomorrow, which is actually on the Class 181 that's going around there now, just passing the bottom right camera now. A little video out on that, a couple of running shots off it. That'll be out tomorrow. Channel members will already have seen it. And then weeks after that, I'll be continuing on with the layout for the model shop. So say with those ones, I'm doing sort of bite-size videos. So I think the next one's going to be on sort of track and track planning. Then there's going to be a little one on power control, like DC, DCC control. Just sort of bite-size videos, 5-10 minutes long. I'm trying to make them no more than 10 minutes long. So it'll split it up. And then it'll be laying the track and then ballasting and scenics, all the stuff I've done before, but, you know, just trying to make it a bit more concise and bite-size. I was on about the lighting and sockets fitted. No more extensions all over the place. Not even thought about electrical layout. All right, Gary. Okay, Peter, take care. Right, don't say the B word, you'll make it rain. Class 181, just a filler video, and you film more of the bite-sized layout build. Well, I was doing it want to do that one anyway, because just to show people what it's like, because it is a really nice model. But I seem to film like 2 or 3 videos and think, oh, there's the next 3 weeks videos. And then instead of carrying on filming videos, I stop. So then I'm like, oh, I need to do a video for this week. But it's just with everything going on in life, and it's very hard to do. Hi, Raymond. How are you doing? I'm about to sign off in a few minutes. I'm just going up to 9 o'clock. Yes, they're Irish rail coaches. They would have ran on, I believe, on the Dublin-Galway line. That was a livery used in the 90s, I think it was. So as I say, that is probably the closest you'll ever see me running something prototypical. They're all Irish trains, and they're all sort of period correct for those locos. So that's about as close as you're going to get. Yeah, I've got so many things I need to do. Fix the bits of problems on that layout there, put new buildings on it, put a new light on the one that got broken off, fix some of the telegraph poles that got snapped. Give it a damn good dust. It's filthy. Yeah, and touch up some of the grass areas and maybe put a few more trees and that sort of thing on it. Yeah. There's eldest daughter back now. Okay, there we are. It's 9 o'clock. I'm going to sign off now, guys. Say video out tomorrow. Don't forget to hit the like button on your way out and subscribe if you're new here. And if you've watched this all the way to the end on replay and you've got any questions or comments, put them down below. But thanks everyone for tuning in. Hopefully I'll be back next Thursday again. You never know. I might have a bit more work done on this and maybe some track laid. Probably not, but you never know. But it's great chatting to you guys. Really enjoy these Thursday evenings. So take care, everyone. And thanks for tuning in. I'll say video out tomorrow. And hopefully I will see you all guys next week. So take care, everyone. Bye.